Hey everybody, it's Doom here from Dungeons and Doom Biscuits, and at Dollar Tree I got this Crafter Square Woodcraft Cubes, 15 millimeter, and I thought these could make some pretty easy and good crates. So let's see if I can make something like that work. I guess I'm going to grab a couple little ideas, tools that might work, and start with that. So the first thing I'm going to try is this thing here. And see how it's not cutting through the seams good, so that's probably not going to be ideal. But I bet a knife would do it a lot better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my knife and kind of come in here. And try just carefully, without cutting myself. Create so that's not doing what I want it to do. Let's try another one and see if I can make it better. I'm gonna get a knife. And just kind of grind that back and forth and get it deep. And that's going to make the lid of my crate right there. Simple, simple, simple. And if you really wanted to do your crate with a lot of detail, you could do more, but what I'm just going to do is I'm going to kind of cut it into fourths. It's not as deep as I wanted, but it should be good. And all I'm doing is simulating some planks. I wasn't sure how this was going to work, but it looks like it might be okay. You could get different sizes of these from different places. And on the top, I'm going to do the same thing. Just kind of simulate that. Then I'm going to come here. I want to give it a little bit of wood grain. Probably the easiest thing to do would be use a wire brush, but I want mine to be a little ridiculous and exaggerated size-wise. I'm going to have my top planks. I don't think it's going to work real well up there, but I can try it. It's pretty basic. That's one single crate, and it doesn't look like much right now, but I have a suspicion so make this a little bit bigger since that's so textured. All right, so I have a suspicion that you can make a decent crate out of this. So all I'm doing is I'm getting this, and I'm going to get something small to make a base out of. You really don't even need a base. Let's try it without a base. Let me get a spray paint lid. Did I turn a glue gun on? I did. Okay, so to see how good we can make this, this might not be perfect, but let's see. So right now it doesn't look like much. You don't see too much, but I think, I'm just guessing here, if we get some, I'm going to use a speed paint to save time. Or do I have a brown contrast paint? Wildwood. Ooh, is this dry? Oh, dude, that's dried. All right, hold on. I'm going to use contrast paint because I don't use them for anything else. Very seldom do I use them for anything. Okay, I'm going to get... Oh, come on, you piece of shit. Oops, there we go. Getting a crappy brush. Something that I don't care about. And this color is called Nasdrag Yellow. And let's see. How much that sticks out using this. It should become pretty good. If you could just paint this brown and use any wash, I'm sure you could get a good result too. I don't know. Like I said, this is my first time doing this, so I don't know. Okay. I'm just going to get a piece of fabric and dab off some of that. So I think it would look better with a darker color, and I think you have to paint it first, so you're not just coloring the wood stain. So let's try it again. This is the one that didn't go well. Let's get one. It definitely did what I wanted it to do for the most part. That's a fact, but now this block is not going to be used as a final product crate anyways, because unless it was in a stack, because it's like a little funky there. But I don't think it's going to kill it to be a little funky, honestly. I'm going to make this groove a little bigger this time. The one I made with a knife. See, they didn't line up well right there. But for really cheap and easy blocks, crates, I think this is going to be a good method. Do all the sides. Yeah, I'm going to do across my top. That's okay that this one's funky. I mean, you get 36 of them, so you can afford to make a mistake or two for sure. Actually, I don't think it was $1. I think it was $1.25, but still, you know, relatively inexpensive. So I'm going to get that. I got my cheap brush. I'm going to get a dark brown paint from wherever I put dark brown paint at. Here we go. I'm going to use this little Crafters wood thing here. I'm put a little bit of paint on it. And just using my brush out of dirty paint water, I'm just going to try painting this up. I think it'll work better this way, honestly. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, right? Right. Cool. Do 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 do. Okay, we'll set this up here in case this one doesn't work. There's some like funky shit on here. All right. Then let's get that color's not ideal. Do I have different brown here? Dark Oath Flesh. That's not going to be brown. All right, we'll just use a speed paint, even though I didn't want to. I got a lot of speed paint colors here. This is Dark Wood. You don't need a whole lot of speed paint. That's probably way too dark. No, that's not Tiny Tim that you hear in the other room. My two oldest sons are online playing games together. And they're 25 and 23, 24, 25 and 24. And they get themselves laughing to the point where they can't even breathe. They just crack each other up so much they can't even function. So that's pretty dark. I'm going to get a piece of cardboard and a medium brown. And a makeup brush from the Dollar Tree. So those vertical ones just aren't showing through well. The cracks, maybe they're just not deep enough or wide enough to be noticeable, but you can see that they're just, you can't see them well. You can see them a little bit, but not well. Let's see if this one can be helped in such a way. Found out my brother doesn't like me, like, at all. And he hates he hates my smaller children. He hates my wife. Kind of breaks my heart because he's my little brother and I care about him. But he confided in someone, a reliable source, that he does not like me. And I have some suspicions that my parents have something to do with it, because they're always, you know, oh, Chris got a promotion, Chris this, Chris that, you know. And it puts him in a weird spot. So anyways, looking at this now, as it dried a little bit, it is kind of noticeable. I think it's about finding the right combination. And this time, I'm going to use a file and try to make this a little more I'm still going to come back with that knife, but I'm just doing this channel with a file to make it more noticeable right off the bat. Just trying to make that lid stand out more than it is. That seems more noticeable. I'm going to do my planks. I'm doing them a little deeper. Putting a little more yow into it. And I'm going to come around, and I think I'm going to do this on the lid too. I think I'm going to use the knife blade here to try to get deeper cuts. Going across the grain with this knife isn't great. I'm not getting very effective cuts. I'm trying to deepen these up a little bit. I really want these to be more noticeable. I think it's going to be way more noticeable that time. I'm going to use that medium brown to paint it this time. I'm just, like I said, I'm just trying to find the best way to make really easy crates. When I saw these, I was like, it's a pretty good deal. I can make a lot of crates out of that if I can figure out how to harness that power. Or I could even use them as furniture pieces and stuff. I usually use the Jenga blocks for furniture pieces, but oh, spider web there, damn. Okay. If you can't get it down to the cracks, just get some water. You'll get it down in there. I'm not going to do it with black spray paint, but if I had some decent brown spray paint, I think that'd be the way to go, honestly. A really thin coat of like a brown primer. This is called hardened leather. We're going to need 2 drops. So even though I can't see any good contrast right now for that, you're all looking at me doing this. You're like, Doom, there's like 1,000 easier ways to do this. Yeah, I know. I just want to play around and do this. But Yeah, even now, looking at this contrast, it's not great, but I can see the lines more noticeably this time around, and that's what I wanted. And at this point, I could have just carved this into a piece of styrofoam super quick, and it had a lot more detail. Okay. Yeah. All right. Last dish effort. This is just some really crappy terrain black wash. I call it terrain black wash because I don't use it on miniatures. At least not that I can think of. Maybe I have. Who knows? With me, it's possible. So this is a tad bit of rubbing alcohol, deionized water, dish soap, and black cheapy Walmart paint. I'm going to get a piece of fabric and dab off some of that outside excess. Okay, so I am actually a lot happier with that. Let me get up here and look at it from above in the camera. I'm a lot happier with that. And if you had like a silver or gold paint marker, maybe a gold paint marker, you can make that actually look like a cool chest or something too, if you wanted to, I'm thinking. So I'm pretty happy with that in itself. But it looks like it's waterlogged and old and damaged. So I'm going to go with that. I'm going to get some of this English Ivy, which I love this color. I'm going to get a little bit of water in my brush. I'm going to grab some English Ivy. I'm really wetting it up. I'm going to kind of bring that along the bottom there. It's super wet. I'm going to drag that up a little bit. On this corner where it's wet. Need a little bit more water, but no more of the ivy. There we go. Get a little bit more of the ivy over here. Come over on this side and bring a little bit up. Get some more of that water. Okay. Now let's see how that looks. Those aren't as noticeable. Those are going to have to be deeper. But as far as it goes, that's definitely a passable chest if you dry that. All right, let's try one more. All right, so we have a lot of stuff we're doing here with these. Oh, this one's super nice. I can't tell where the shitty side is. Maybe that's the shitty side. All right. All right, so I've made that a little darker this time. You know what? Hold on. I have actual wood carving tools somewhere. I don't know where they are. Whittling tools and all that. Yes, sir. All right, I'm gonna use a blade that's a little sturdier for this portion. Oh, I cut really deep in there accidentally. Yeah, the whole corner's coming off. All right, well, that was my fault. We're just going to pretend it's okay. That's not going to be a problem. It is going to be a problem, isn't it? Ooh, that is. All right, hold on. We'll make it not a problem. Wait, before we do that, let's do the top. Can you see that first line? If I come over here, I should be able to see it pretty good. I want to make these pretty pronounced again, like I did the third one. Where's that corner at? Gotta be careful with that. This is that wonky corner. Oops. And I gotta get that wonky corner kind of glued in there. Come on, wonky corner. Come back together where you go. Come on. Just like that. Beautiful. All right. Now, a little bit of wood texture on there. Because I feel like this one's going to be the best one. I don't have any... You spider web. Damn you. I don't have any good brown spray paint, but I have a little bit of flat red primer, which is brown. Is my fan on? No, my fan's not on. Oh well. This is just a tiny bit of paint. It won't hurt it. So this time I've hit it with a like a brown primer. It's actually called red, but it's brownish in color. Look at that. Tons more available detail all of a sudden. Okay. And I'm just gonna kind of clean up some of the worst of it. And it's already noticeable that you can see more of the detail work we did really quickly with that. I don't know if you guys see the big difference in like how far it's come from the OG. Plus, you know, the primer doesn't soak in like the paint does, and you know, leave the natural tones of the wood behind. It kind of makes its own standard for that. So I'm just getting I think that's too much paint still. All right, I think that's going to be your winner right there. And then if you wanted to, after, you really have to let it air dry. You can't blow dry it, but I think you could, after this air dried, you could hit it with like a lighter grayish brown mix and make it look a little more weathered and a little more used. But I think that's definitely that last way to go, and using the primer instead of different, you know, stains and base coats of normal paint. I think it made a better product right off the bat because you could see a lot more detail that just wasn't even remotely noticeable on any of these other ones. We didn't do as much work on that one, but we did a good bit of work on that one. You can't see it. We did a good bit of work on that one, and you can see it, but it's not perfect. So I think this is the best method. Anyways, let me take a shot of these, and we can oh, this one's ball sack. Come on, you. Here we go. I'll get a shot of those and post it up. Thanks for watching, guys. Please like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell. I'll see you next time. Oh, leave a comment.